Hi, and welcome back to the Free Swatches channel, and thanks very much for joining us again on this Watchmaker challenge. So this is now part 3. In part 1 we bought a watch, in part 2 I've repaired the watch, and now in part 3 I'm going to show you where we're up to, which is having a complete watch ready to sell on eBay. Before I do that, we've had a few questions. I'm really grateful for the support we've had for the videos, so thanks to everyone who's commented, thanks to everyone who's subscribed, and thanks to everyone who's come along on the journey. I'm hoping we're going to make it an interesting one as we keep moving forward. So 2 questions that I wanted to just cover. First of all, I had a few comments about my use of blue tack on the watch movements in the last video. Just wanted to get across that I only do this when I'm taking the watch apart, and it's best not to use it when the movement is completely clean. I just wanted to sort of clear that up because it is something that can be used in watch repair, but only at a particular time. The second thing I was going to talk about was about close-ups. What we're going to do in this video, because it was mentioned that a few people wanted to see much closer onto the watch, we're going to cut in a minute and go close in on the watch and show you the watch in much better detail, and hopefully that will sort of provide some better actual content of the watch itself. The challenge has been really fun so far. So we bought this Tissot C-Star for £80. In the last video I've repaired it. I haven't had any nasty surprises. The watch all seems to be okay. It's gone through the service procedure quite well. So it's had a full service. I've changed the crystal, we've fitted a new strap, I've cleaned the case. It does look nice. So what we'll do, we'll get the close-up macro lens on, we'll get right in on the bench, and then I can talk to you in further detail about exactly what I've done and how the watch has come out. Because I think, I'm not sure if I'm going to make a profit, of course, but I'm quite pleased with the end result of the watch, and hopefully you'll like it as well. So we've got the macro lens on now, and hopefully you'll be able to see the watch a bit better. So what you can see from the front here, you can see the condition of the dial and hands is pretty good. One of the things that attracted me to the watch in the first place was that these look good. I mean, obviously it's the main component that you see, so that was quite important to me to get a watch with a good dial and hands. So these Tissot C-Star have a light sort of sunburst grain to them, which is quite appealing. I mean, admittedly it's just a silver dial, nothing particularly exciting in terms of colour, but they do look quite nice, I think. And I haven't had to do much work here at all. The only thing I had to do, as I mentioned in the previous video, the markers that go on the hour, the applied markers, all had a small luminous dot on the edge, and because of the age of the watch, the luminous material had gone dry and a lot of it had fallen off. So I've just applied a very fine dot on the edge of each one, because this matches in with the luminous material in the hands. The material in the hands is in good condition, so I didn't have to do anything there, so that was a bit of a result really. So I've just matched the dial to the hands, and I think it just sort of finishes the watch off. The other thing that I did aesthetically from the front was to clean the case, which has really brightened it up quite a bit, and I've also polished the crystal, which is pretty much an essential thing to do if you want the watch to look nice. You also see I've fitted a new strap to it. I was a bit torn about what sort of strap to fit to the watch, because ultimately I've got to do this on a bit of a budget, so I didn't want to really go all out and spend loads of money on a strap, which I imagine I'm not going to get back when I do the actual eBay sale. So I've bought a strap that was about £5, which is it's a fairly sort of reasonably thick cushioned leather strap, but at the same time it's got quite a nice grain, quite traditional, and looks quite similar to what would have been on there originally. As I mentioned when I bought this watch, it has got a signed crown on it, which is nice. So that sort of finishes the watch off really for me. I'm just going to turn it around now and we can take a look at the movement. So I've got the back off, and you'll see here the movement is actually, as I mentioned before, so I keep saying that, don't I? But I mentioned this before, the movement is in good condition. So what I had to do here was to take the movement apart entirely, as we saw in the last video, and then just to ultrasonically clean the movements in the cleaning machine, then to assemble, lubricate and regulate the movement. It's really good. I don't think this watch has seen a lot of use because of, the movement is such good order. So at least one thing I have got here, admittedly this isn't the most expensive or desirable watch, but I think it's a good start in their challenge, because we've got a good, I'm able to sell a watch that I'm pleased with, a watch that I've been able to repair, and a watch I can guarantee. So hopefully that will be enough to add some value and get us onto the next stage. So yeah, overall I think I'm pleased with that. I'll be interested to know what you think of it, so please do let me know in the comments. I think it's a attractive watch, and I'm certainly quite pleased with it. The only thing that obviously puts a lot of people off these days is that it's a mid-size, it's a sort of 35mm case with the crown, and that is, by today's standards, is quite small. But in vintage watch terms, it's a fairly standard size. So I'm hoping that there'll be enough interest in, from people who would like vintage watches of this size to, maybe get us a couple of bids. But only time will tell on that one. Well, thanks very much for sticking with us through the video. I hope that was interesting to see the watch. This is a video that we're going to obviously be making as we go along through this challenge. When I have a watch ready, I'll be making a video just about the watch like this one, and it's been really great to show it to you, and hopefully that was of interest. The watch is now on eBay, so if you come off the video, you can go and look at it on eBay. I've put a link in the description for the listing, so you're welcome to go and have a look. What I've done, I've just started at a no reserve. It's a bit of a risk, but as part of the challenge, I thought, well, let's just do that as our first port of call to see how we get on. Because obviously it's no good me putting the watch on as a buy it now at a certain price, which a lot of people do. I've seen a lot of people do in these sort of watches, because it doesn't help us to move on in either direction. So I thought, well, let's find out what happens with an auction. So the auction's there. Obviously, if you want to bid, that's great. There's no pressure to bid at all, because the main purpose of doing this is to see how we get on, just selling the watch on eBay. But the watch is here, and if any of you are interested in it, then please feel free to have a bid. It would be nice if it went to a good home, of course, because it is a good example of the Tissot Sea Star, and I think that overall I've made a reasonable start to this challenge. But the proof of that is going to be in the numbers, of course, and in our next video, which could be a couple of weeks because we've got to go through an auction and make the video, that's when we're going to know how I've got on, because it's all very well doing all this work, getting the watch ready, making it look nice, all that sort of thing, but if I don't make any money on it, then the challenge is not going very well, and I'm going to have to sort of start again and buy something even cheaper if I don't get at least sort of the £90 back, just what I've invested in cash into the watch. So thanks again for watching the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, then you'll get notified when any new videos come out in this series. And if you've got any comments, please feel free to put them down there. How do you think I'm getting on? How does the watch look? Anything like that. I'm really interested to hear what you think of it, and I do appreciate everything that everyone's put down below on the video so far. So thanks again, bye for now.